The Bridgestone Canadian Superbike Championship has returned to Grand Bend Motorplex on the west coast of Ontario. Mere minutes from the crashing waves of Lake Huron, Canada's top riders prepare to battle their way through the field while attempting to stay out of the punishing fescue that frames this challenging track. Feet on the pegs, visor down, it's time to go racing in Grand Bend. Marshall Ferguson alongside Colin Fraser. We have made our way to the beach in Grand Bend. All the sunscreen for this guy. But it is, of course, round number 2 of the Bridgestone Canadian Superbike Championship season. And it is round 2 of Grand Bend Motorplex presented by Southwest Marine and Powersports. And in the Economy Lube and Tire Pro Sport Bike division, race number 1, Elliot Vieira on that Ducati. He qualified on pole position, but he did not finish the race in first place. A dramatic crash.
Well, it's teed up, and we've been promoting this, that Vieira and Sebastian Tremblay are our 2 stars, the guys to beat. Normally there's 5 or 6 guys in this category. These 2 have separated themselves, and what we were hoping for, which was a battle to the finish between them, which we've seen a fair bit lately, almost fulfilled itself, and Tremblay certainly was prepared for the onslaught, but it never came. Elliot made a small mistake and paid a big price.
It is a difficult season thus far for Elliot Vieira. As you see the crash once again, just thankful that he popped back up onto his feet after a big tumble through the grass.
Yeah, that's definitely why we wear a helmet.
That is the starting grid for you here. And race number 4 is Trevor Daley sitting in second spot.
Yeah, Daley is a fantastic story. That's one of the bikes that was built to run at Daytona, the sister bike to Ben Young's, and Ben Young's bike has already won once this year. We'll see if this one can do it too.
As we see a very tight qualification up in the top end here at Grand Bend. Philip de Gama Blanchette as well. Rounding out row number 4 is Mac Wheel sitting there alongside Marco Souza. And the rest of the field winding down as we get set to go around Grand Bend here in the Economy Lube and Tire Pro Sport Bike division.
Got to mention Alex Michel blew an engine, so he won't be racing, which was a shame. He's been doing very well. Pretty straightforward layout here. We use the set of circumstances that allows the longest, fastest version of the straightaway, but they actually can run a lot of configurations here in both directions, so it's quite an interesting track for regional racing.
Getting set to get things underway. Let's go down to our Bridgestone pit reporter, Eric Trickko.
There was drama galore yesterday as Elliot Vieira led a majority of the race. Sebastian Tremblay passed him in the closing laps, and when Elliot tried to counterattack into the carousel to retake the lead, he crashed out. We'll have to see if Vieira's crew can put the Ducati back together again and be ready to go for today's actions, or will they have to go to the backup bike? Trevor Daley had a great day yesterday, bringing home the Bridgestone Suzuki in second spot. It's been 10 years since he ran in the class. You know he's going to be leaving nothing on the table today to try and bring home that win. We had rain overnight, and that's washed away all of the rubber on the track. It's a green and slippery track out there. It could make for some exciting racing. Marshall and Colin, let's just kick it back up to you and get this party started.
Thank you, Eric, as we turn our attention towards the Apex Cycle starting lights powered by Honda, digging in at the front of the grid. Our top 3, Tremblay, Daley, Vieira. Away is Daley. Gets the whole shot here, straight through clean. Tremblay on his rear tire heading into turn 1.
Daley definitely coming up. He got the party started, but Tremblay, our points leader, is the guy to watch here, and he is right on top of the other Suzuki 750. But there's Sear, our rookie pro on the Triumph, in 3rd, so lots going on already.
It is Sear, as you say, back there in 3rd. Elliot Vieira sitting in 4th right now as they make their way down the back straight for the first time, where Vieira had, of course, his big crash back in race 1.
And I think that's Bauer on the Ducati in 5th. I'm not 100% sure about that, and that's a change. He has joined up with the Economy Lube mob o Ducatis.
They have done a great job getting those bikes prepared in short order, as Daley stretching his legs a little bit here, making his way through the bus stop. As we see, trying to stretch it out and get a little breathing room away from the second spot of Sebastian Tremblay. Is it Cyr, Vieira, and Dylan Bauer? You were correct there, Colin, sitting in fifth.
Yeah, Bauer on another Ducati, and Playford should be somewhere, maybe he's just outside of the top 10. So again, the Ducati's doing very well. This track should be the track that suits them. Last year they struggled with setup issues, and of course we've talked about the Gen 2 bikes. The bikes leading are both Suzuki 750s, other Gen 2 motorcycles.
Cyr bouncing his way through here in Grand Bend, and taking a different lane that time than Tremblay in front of him. They all come out equal as they head down the back straight, and again you see the creative lines of Trevor Daley.
Cyr a little bit ambitious. It didn't quite work out, but we know he's going to be hungry in his first year as a pro. We got to mention Lang, of course, one of our absolute front runners. He's on a Kawasaki Ninja. He's back in 10th. You know he's not happy with that. He's one of our title contenders, so he's going to be on the move.
As Dylan Bauer moves up into 4th position ahead of Elliot Vieira, as we begin lap number 2 officially, and a dive bomb on the inside as Maverick Cyr, and now Trevor Daley goes off. So Cyr goes from 3rd to 2nd to 1st in short order as Daley trying to get his bike back on the track.
It rained very hard last night, and it's soupy out there, so good for Trevor to stay aboard. And you got to think about Tremblay. He's had some real drama there. He broke his shoulder getting clipped in that same exact turn. This move by Cyr, it works, but it's ambitious and it's late, and you know Tremblay didn't enjoy it because he's got muscle memory of getting clobbered in the exact same spot.
And what a great job by Maverick Cyr. You can see him grabbing the clutch as many times as possible to get that thing slowed down in the wobble up ahead of Trevor Daley as he sits now in 10th position. What went wrong with Daley here?
I think it's just a little too much aggression on the throttle, just looking for too much out of the bike and trying to get the thing settled right at the very, very limit of what's possible. Of course, when you're in the lead like that and you know people are close behind, he's well aware this class is extremely competitive. It's almost impossible to get away. He was trying, it didn't work, and now he has his work cut out for him.
Yeah, that is amazing. He was able to keep that thing vertical as Maverick Cyr, one of the true rookie pro standouts here in the Economy Lube and Tire Pro Sport Bike division, is in the lead, hoping to get his first sport bike victory. Portions of the Bridgestone Canadian Superbike Championship are brought to you in part by Importations Thibault, Joe Rocket, and Southwest Marine and Powersports. Closed captioning of the Bridgestone Canadian Superbike Championship is brought to you in part by Lifen, MotorcycleCourse.com, Apex Cycle, and Supersonic Road Race School. Welcome back to Grand Bend Motorplex as it is Maverick Cyr in the lead here on lap number 5 as we see Sebastian Tremblay, Dylan Bauer, Elliot Vieira, and Zoltan Frast making his way up through the field as well. Speaking of making your way up through the field, how about Trevor Daley being up into 7th already as we see another pass here as Dylan Bauer moves into 2nd ahead of Tremblay.
I think that was a mistake by Tremblay, but Bauer was right there, and a lot of this track is one line, so you've got to be right on top of the guy in front with the hope he makes a small bobble. Tremblay doesn't make them often, but Bauer was immediately able to make a move in a place where we almost never see them. Got to talk about Cyr. Remember, last year 2 amateur titles, but much harder to run the pace consistently at the pro level, so for him to lead under this kind of pressure is another big step in his career.
And you can certainly see his skill developing right in front of our eyes each and every race as now Trevor Daley moves into 6th position, but this breakaway group of 5 are trying to create as much room as they can from Daley, and certainly tightly packed and entertaining racing.
Got to mention Lang up to 9th now. Of course, that was partly due to the incident, and also Playford on the Ducati in 10th, so we were seeing some of the people we expect to be front runners doing a little bit better later in the race, but not where they expected to be.
Anybody in this top 5 really surprise you where they're sitting right now, Colin?
No, Frast I think is a great story, but the problem with this class is there's a lot of great stories, and if you were part of the big story 3 weeks ago, you might be lost in the shuffle this time. Cyr is the story right now, and he's been the coming man for a while. He had that good run at Daytona. He finished Daytona, which is important, and he's tested a Kawasaki Superbike. He's tested a Ducati V-Twin. He's talking to everybody. He's trying to put things together, and I think it's just a matter of time before he wins his first pro national race.
He told us back in round 1 at Shanaville how much the Daytona experience helped him develop his skill set and gain some confidence as well, as you can see that on the Triumph here in round number 2.
So Triumph triple in the lead, then a Ducati 955 V-Twin second, then a second-gen Suzuki GSXR 750, a restricted motorcycle in 3rd, then Vieira on another 955 Ducati, and Frast on a more conventional bike, a Kawasaki Ninja 636.
And Daley closing down the gap. His last lap was a 1:04.581, so he has been piecing together the laps consistently since going off in the bus stop and fading all the way back to 10th spot.
So the challenge for Daley is his lap times are there, but there's no room to maneuver because there's traffic in front of you. Now, Daley's normally pretty good at finding his way through, but finding your way through this many guys when you're almost halfway, it can be done, but it's very unusual that it would be. And I think if Tremblay were aware of how close Daley is after that runoff, Tremblay might be less willing to sit in this group where he's at.
Well, you can really see the 166 there of Daley starting to back things up. Is up ahead, side by side. It is Sebastian Tremblay almost nipping the rear tire that time of Dylan Bauer. Yeah,
I think, unfortunately, that's the second mistake we've seen Tremblay make with Bauer, and he hardly ever makes them, and I think he was a little ambitious. He got out of it. That was smart. And, of course, these two have a little history.
Oh, big move by Frast down the inside, and Elliot Vieira goes tumbling through the Grand Bend grass for the second day in a row. But this one didn't look like it was really his fault, unlike yesterday.
Yeah, that turn, so many things happen there because people get under on the brakes on a sort of a block pass. Now we go in that fantastic helmet cam of Frast, and he is late when he makes this decision, and Elliot's already turning. Remember, Elliot can't see him until the bike's right alongside. So right here, Elliot's committed to the turn, and Frast has really kind of jammed him at the apex, and I'm not saying that that's a wrong move, but it will not be well reviewed.
Frustrating for Elliot Vieira as you can see him get back onto his feet. Again, thankfully, no worse for wear, but that bike certainly is significantly banged up as now after that incident, it is the top three here of Sear, Dylan Bauer, and Sebastian Tremblay with a little bit of room from Frast. And then because of the incident, in the background, there is Trevor Daley as the yellow flag waves.
And if you're wondering about the incident we saw with Vieira from our race yesterday where he tumbled into the carousel, this bike he just crashed is his spare bike. So now he's severely damaged both of his Ducati 955 Desmos.
Sear continues to lead. More from Grand Bend when we return. Welcome back to Grand Bend Motorplex. Maverick Sear continues to lead from Dylan Bauer, Sebastian Tremblay, and down the back straight as we rejoin the race. It is the one-speed Suzuki of Trevor Daley moving into fourth position from first to 10th to fourth, and now eyeing up Sebastian Tremblay ahead of him as Dylan Bauer, again, trying to create a little bit of breathing room from that Turcotte Performance Suzuki of Sebastian Tremblay. But up front, it is Maverick Sear, and it's all in the family for the Sears.
Oh, it's so important. It's basically my main sponsor. He's helping me a lot to pay all the bills for racing, and he's my crew chief. He is my coach. He's teaching me everything. I'm here because of him, because he teach me the love of motorcycle. I don't really put any pressure on myself. I think he had a pretty good career, but I'm trying to, of course, I'm trying to beat him, but I don't put any pressure on me to go faster than him.
Some pressure, though, when you're ahead of a pro national race trying to score your first win. Got to mention, JF, his father also had a father who raced, so we're talking third generation. Bob Sear was very fast on a 250 Grand Prix bike.
And now we see a huge shot as it's Sebastian Tremblay into second, and Trevor Daley hunting down Dylan Bauer as well. What a great shot off the back of Tremblay's bike. But yeah, I mean, Sear says he doesn't put any pressure on himself to be fast, but he is naturally fast. And we all see that as Daley jumps into third position now, and Frast making his way into fourth past Bauer.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there with Bauer, but man, did he get moved back there, and he needs to get going again because we're getting late in this race. And I think at this point, all attention is on Daley on that Daytona Suzuki. Remember, this is his first race in the Canadian National Series. He didn't participate at Shannonville. He's racing his Superbike GSXR 1000 and this 750, one of two bikes he was the lead builder on that went to Daytona. Ben Young's other bike won our opener and was the top Canadian at Daytona, and Sear is leading on the Triumph that he raced at Daytona.
Daley's speed continues to pick up. Almost looks like he's more comfortable now that he's got a little bit of breathing room in front of him. Not trying to pass everybody, just close the gap to Sebastian Tremblay, sitting in second spot. But Tremblay's got eyes for the lead as he goes into first.
Hopefully Tremblay got that arrow telling him keep moving, that there's trouble coming from behind. And now Sear is going to face that exact same trouble. Tremblay in the lead at this point in the race is no surprise. That it took him this long to get to the lead is a big surprise.
And as they finished lap number 11, Daley throwing down another lap. And the 104s is a big crash off the back stretch here. It looks like Nathan Playford on the Playford Company Ducati, and a painful one. The second Ducati we've seen go down here in race 2.
Tough day for the 955 Desmos, and a real surprise because we were expecting them to all be near the front, and it just hasn't worked out. And the last man standing, Ducati-wise, is Dylan Bauer, but he got shuffled back to 5th on one of the Econolube bikes.
Now this pack of 5 that keeps shuffling the deck, tightening up even more as we are well beyond the halfway mark and trying to see who's going to have the pace through the last third of this race as Daley jumps on the throttle once again with Sear straight ahead.
Yeah, I think Sear's having some kind of problem because Daley looks like he's, that was not hard to do. Daley swept right by, and Sear's looking, oh my goodness, to retaliate.
Cut him back underneath, and Sear had to get out of it that time as Zoltan Frast now takes a look on Sear after his interaction with Daley at the end of the back straight.
Yeah, you can see Playford with his Ducati in the carousel, so everybody had to be a little careful there. And here you can see Daley making that pass. It was very, very early, and the guy we need to pay attention to is Frast because he's been on the march too. How much longer this can play out with only a couple of laps remaining will be the interesting story here. Here you can see Sear thinking about it, and thank goodness he backed out of that because that looked like an accident looking for a place to happen.
He was so close in the inside of that corner as well, Colin, just a couple of inches from getting off of the grip as Tremblay out in front while all of this madness is unfolding behind him, trying to create a little bit of breathing room once again.
And these two actually battled occasionally about 10 years ago in this same class, and Daley has a win in this class a long time ago at Atlantic Motorsport Park, but has not been a competitor in the middleweight division for a very long time, has been focused on Superbike. So this is a return, and it's a return that's got him up to second with a couple laps to go.
The adventures of Trevor Daley continue. We'll be back. Portions of the Bridgestone Canadian Superbike Championship are brought to you in part by Importations Thibault, Joe Rocket, and Southwest Marine and Powersports. Welcome back to Grand Bend Motorplex. It is lap number 15 here as they continue to race under the sun along the shores of Lake Huron. Sebastian Tremblay in the lead, as it is Trevor Daley sitting in second. That great visor camera from inside the Claire Cycle Kawasaki of Zoltan Frast, and Maverick Sear up ahead of him, but his lap times have been slipping for the last couple and starting to back things up a bit, Colin.
Something's up with Sear. He's struggling, and unfortunately Frast and Bauer have been backed up because of this. Remember, Sear led a lot of this race, and we were openly wondering if this might be the time he finally scores a win. That's the triumph he won 2 amateur titles with last year. And look at this heavy traffic, and that has definitely helped with lead battle. Daley is much closer to Tremblay now.
Closing down that gap as they make their way through some of the back markers. But yeah, I mean, Sear was running in the low to mid 105s and now the high 105s as we see Trevor Daley go for the lead, and he does make the pass on Sebastian Tremblay, the one-speed Suzuki, to the lead.
And in the background, Bauer was having a look at Frast, and it's getting hairy for third. Everybody wants that podium. You can see Daley bumped out of the seat in a turn he's had some adventures in the past.
And here is Frast going down the outside of Maverick Sear. They've both had some crazy moves throughout this race in that corner, but Frast comes out on top and takes the spot away. He's in a podium position, the 747.
Yeah, Frast showing his experience here racing the SOAR Regional Series and making passes on both sides into the most technical part of the track that mostly we consider to be one line. So good effort by Frast on that yellow Kawasaki.
Daley running a 105.231 on lap number 15, so very good pace on the lap where he, of course, took the lead away from the number 24 of Sebastian Tremblay, who now tries to plot his revenge on lap 16.
But remember that Daley is not in title contention. Tremblay is our points leader, so he has to weigh up the decisions. He knows Elliot Vieira is on the ground because where Vieira fell was very evident to everybody in the pack, so Tremblay knows he's not in points trouble.
And Maverick Sear down into 5th position now is in behind these front 2 leaders. Dylan Bauer slides his way back up into 4th and maybe trying to find a way to catch up to Zoltan Frast to get his podium spot back.
Yeah, 2-horse race for the lead, and then that evolving battle for...
Tremblay off deep into turn number 1, and now he'll have to make his way back on track. Is there any chance that he could close the gap, or is it Frast that'll end up taking second spot away from him?
Yeah, Frast right up beside Tremblay, and again, very rare for Tremblay to make mistakes like that, and he overcooked it, but he didn't take to the runoff, so there won't be a penalty. But the battle for the lead has disappeared, and this traffic situation has really hurt Tremblay.
So Sebastian trying to find some pace here in the closing stages in Grand Bend, as now it's him and Frast all of a sudden out of nowhere in a battle. We've had so many different matchups, 1 versus 1 in this race, and this one looks like it might decide the final podium position.
And you know, if you're Frast, you've been thinking, someday I'm going to get up with Tremblay. We're on board with Tremblay, and you can see he just doesn't get his brake marker. He was probably focused on trying to make something happen. With Daley, maybe Daley makes a mistake, and here we are with that in-the-helmet shot that Frast has been offering us. Terrific shot of the side of that GSXR 750, and that's how close he got. Of course, don't forget that Tremblay's looking around the turn. He doesn't know how close Frast is.
Amazing shot that time from onboard with Zoltan Frast. We see how close he was tucked up next to Sebastian Tremblay. As the white flag is out, we have reached the final lap of the Economy Lube and Tire Pro Sport Bike Division. Race number 2, Sebastian Huthaza passes Maverick Sear for 6th position as Sear continues to slide down the order, dealing with some onboard issues.
But you know, everybody's wondering, Trevor Daley packs a lot of adventure into a race. He's packed a ton of adventure into this race, but he just needs to make a few more turns very cleanly. He's pretty far ahead. There you can see he's right on the knee through there, so still hammering.
Sear's off the bike. Eric Tricko has more.
Maverick, you have an outstanding race. You're closing laps. You're looking great for a podium. What happened?
I was in the front and the clutch started to slip, so I couldn't do anything.
Just lost power, no drive?
No drive, I couldn't shift. The clutch is done. That was the lead, but honestly, I can't do anything.
A disappointing day for Maverick Sear, but the 1-speed Suzuki of Trevor Daley returns to the Sport Bike Division and takes the victory. First place for Trevor Daley in his return to the Bridgestone Canadian Superbike Championship.
Awesome moment for Daley. Remember, he was pivotal in building the bikes that were sponsored by Bridgestone that went to Daytona and led that effort that produced the win for Ben Young. So this is interesting. This is our 4th race of the year, and these 2 Suzukis have so far bookended things. Young won the opener, and Daley won the 4th race, and neither have competed in the whole series. So it's good news for Tremblay. They're not taking too many points away from him since he's after the crown.
As we get a look at the running order here, Trevor Daley on top. Tremblay does bring it home in 2nd, and Zoltan Frast rounds out the podium as the Bauer brothers sit in 4th and 5th.
Yeah, got to hand it off to Dylan. First time out on the Ducati. Yes, it's his home track, but that's a bike you have to learn to ride, and of course, unfortunately, Sear could have won it.
Trevor Daley, it's been a long time between drinks for you, 10 years away from the class, and you did make it easy for yourself today.
Yeah, you know, they don't call me the wild child for nothing. So, playing after yesterday, kind of seeing some of the other guys' pace was to get in front and be strong where I was strong and defend where I wasn't. So I think I was pulling a bit of a gap there and just made a little mistake. Obviously saved it and put my head down and came back through. So it was a lot of fun, and yeah, hopefully it was exciting to watch for the fans too.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
A great effort that time from the one and only Trevor Daley as he gets a victory, and the only other person to get a victory other than Sebastian Tremblay this season, Ben Young. So those 2 Suzukis reaching the top, but Tremblay leads.
Got to mention Frast. He's not planning to do the whole series, but 2nd in the points right now is a wonderful effort, and we'll see how he does when the series comes back from Edmonton and resumes in the East. I'm sure we'll see him at Mosport and our Shannonville finale. There's Trevor celebrating with his family.
Great moment, great pictures here from Grand Bend. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.